Hello everyone, I'm both Brutal Commentary, and today, I'm going to be breaking down another big boxing match for this week on Sunday, February 1st. In the Meta Apex, we have the second main event for Zuffa Boxing, or I should say the second event for Zuffa Boxing. And for this video, I will be breaking down the main event, which is a lightweight banger between Josè Valenzuela versus Diego Torres. As Venezuela, a former WBA super lightweight champion, a man who actually dethroned Isaac Pitbull Cruz in their fight, granted split decision, but a very close competitive fight, enters the ring with good experience at the highest level and has faced top contenders and champions throughout his career. Meanwhile, Diego Torres on the other side is younger, a hungrier fighter with a 22-1 record, 19 KOs, riding momentum after a good string of recent victories. This matchup promises a classic clash of styles. Venezuela's technical southpaw boxing versus Torres's aggressive, power-based approach. I think tonight's pick leans towards Torres, and here's why, when we break down the fight in detail. So without further ado, let's get down to the breakdown. Starting with Venezuela. He's a southpaw with solid technical skills, capable of combining accurate punches with smart movement. He likes to mix body and head shots, adjust tempo mid-fight, and has experience going the distance in high-pressure fights. His past success comes from controlling range and picking openings rather than overwhelming opponents with pure power. However, Venezuela has shown inconsistencies in recent fights, sometimes struggling against fighters who press relentlessly and force him into exchanges. And against a disciplined pressure fighter, he can be reactive rather than proactive. I think that will play into Torres' strengths. As you look at Diego Torres, he's a classic Mexican-style puncher. Standing in the orthodox stance, Torres applies constant pressure, using a jab to set up heavy power combinations. High knockout rate, nearly 86% of his wins are by knockout, showing Torres can finish fights. And his recent run of victories demonstrate confidence, precision, and rhythm. And Torres thrives when he imposes pace, cuts off the ring, and forces opponents to fight his fight. And so the contrast is kind of clear in this. Venezuela is tactical and strategic, while Torres is aggressive and relentless, creating a fight dynamic where experience meets momentum and pressure. Then, just looking at how they clash overall, this fight is all about pace, control, and timing. Now, just looking at the pace and pressure, Torres likes to dictate the tempo using jabs and combinations to push opponents backwards. Meanwhile, Venezuela prefers to manage tempo using angles and movements to create openings. The question is whether Venezuela can avoid being trapped and forced into reactive exchanges, as Torres' high volume, moving forward style favors the aggressor in situations like this. Then you look at the range and accuracy. Venezuela's southpaw stance creates angles that can complement and that can complicate an orthodox fighter's attacks. I think Torres' combination of range control and punch accuracy allows him to close space efficiently, landing clean shots while minimizing risk, as Venezuela can counter, but the margin for error is small against a fighter of Torres' skill and power. Then you look at experience versus momentum, as Venezuela's championship experience is a plus, particularly in pacing fights over 10 rounds. But Torres' momentum, confidence, and finishing ability give him an edge, specifically in the early rounds where controlling rhythm is crucial. I think over 10 rounds, consistent pressure often outweighs sporadic technical precision. And finally, just defense and susceptibility, as Venezuela can be hit when he's forced into corners or exchanges, and Torres excels at exploiting these moments with well-timed combinations that can, in turn, scoring or even end rounds very decisively. So, in short, Torres' pressure, aggression, and punch placement create a scenario where Venezuela must fight defensively and strategically, an uncomfortable position for a fighter whose best performances rely on controlling exchanges and timing. So just overall, just a prediction. I expect Torres to set the pace from the opening bell using his jab combinations to keep Venezuela moving and reacting. I think Venezuela will try to use angles, counters, and southpaw movement to slow the action. But I think Torres's relentless pressure and volume make it difficult to control the fight. And I think over 10 rounds, Torres's consistent aggression and accurate power shots are likely to earn him rounds on the judge's scorecard, or hell, just finish the fight. And I think Venezuela's experience might help him survive and even score in moments. But I think overarching momentum and fight rhythm just simply belong to Torres. So for my official prediction, I'm gonna go with Diego Torres, and I'm gonna pick him via knockout in this fight. I just simply think his pace, pressure, and power give him the edge over the more technical but less aggressive Venezuela. And I know Venezuela beat Pitbull Cruz, and that is impressive. And Pitbull Cruz, like Diego Torres, is a pressure fighter, good knockout power, and very much his offense relies on setting the tempo and setting the pace early. And like I said, Venezuela was able to beat Isaac Cruz by not letting that happen. But I just think, the fight was really close and competitive. And I think Diego Torres will be able to learn from that fight and be able to make adjustments and simply be the smarter, aggressive fighter and land the fight-ending shots. So once again, I'm going to be picking Diego Torres, and I'm going to pick him via finish in this fight. All right, but with that being said, that's our breakdown of Josè Valenzuela versus Diego Torres, a fight where pressure and momentum meet technical experience. And like I said, expect Torres to control tempo, land power shots, and keep Venezuela on the defensive, making him, I think, the favorite to take this lightweight showdown at Zuffa Boxing 2. But with that being said, that's been my breakdown of this matchup. If you enjoyed the video, like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below on who you think's going to win. But until then, I've been Bo from Brutal Commentary. I thank you all for listening. And remember, stay calm, stay respectful, and enjoy the violence. I'll see y'all next time.